So hello everyone, this is Boots from Starmen.Net, and I will be doing an Audacity tutorial to teach you guys and help you guys who are having trouble with Audacity, which is a great program in and of itself, but can be a little confusing to someone who's new to the whole recording business. So yeah, tutorial, this thing will cover 3 basic points. One of them will be getting your microphone and speakers set up so that you can actually record sound and have it play back to you, which is a nice thing when you're recording music. Part 2 will be teaching you a little bit about multi-track recording and getting metronomes and your audio on separate tracks, which isn't as hard as it sounds, so don't fret yet. And then the third part will just be teaching you guys a little bit about what Audacity does when it saves files and the difference between saving and exporting. Alright, so to keep this short, let's jump in right now. So right here I have Audacity opened up. The first thing I'll go over is these 2 little categories here, these drop-down menus. One of them is obviously for speakers and the other for your microphone. Now I'm using a microphone, the Yeti mic, as you can see here, and I have my recording and also my speakers routed through here. So that's why my speakers and my microphone are the same. Usually that's not the case. Usually you'll want to use your internal mic if you have a laptop, or any other kind of microphone if you have a better one than that. It can get a little complicated with audio boxes with guitars if you have an electric guitar and you're doing it directly into your computer, but you wouldn't really use Audacity for that. Maybe you could, I don't know, I haven't tried. But yeah, so for anyone who's just using Audacity for voice, violin, anything that you're just getting into a microphone through here, internal mic or the microphone you're using, like a USB mic would be good. So I'm gonna click this one because this is mine. And for speakers, your default speakers would probably be good because when you plug your headphones into your computer or your laptop, it should route the sound through your headphones that way. Right now I have it routed through my Yeti mic, so I'll click that one. And that way the sound that I'm getting, that I'll be recording, will play back to me. So that's nice. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Everything should be set up and ready to go. You can adjust your gain, which is your volume levels. So for playback, this is your playback, so your speakers and your microphone. I usually leave it as it is and just adjust things accordingly, either with my keyboard volume settings like that, or actually the little knob I have on my microphone for volume. But it should be fine. If it's too loud, if the waveforms are giant, which I'll show you in a second, you might want to turn it down, but otherwise it should be good. Alright, sorry for the jump cut. I actually had something that interrupted me on that first recording, so I'm going to come back and we'll just pick up where I left off, which I believe was just after the first point. So we're going to move into the second point now, which is multi-track recording, and basically how that gets done and how that works. So to record in Audacity, it's pretty simple. All you need is one button, and that's the record button. So when you click that, it'll automatically just start recording everything that's coming through your mic. So for example, this is my voice. This is a digital representation of my voice going through the mic into your computer, and voila, represented in blue, as Audacity just does. It's blue. And so yeah, that's that. If you play it back, you'll be able to hear it if your speakers and microphone are all set up. This is my voice. Okay, so we get the point. So now it's just the same for anything that's not voice, so I mean it makes sense. Anything that's an instrument would also work. Okay. Excuse my bad guitar playing, but yeah, that gets the point across. It would also play. Now that sounds horrible, so we'll stop that right now. But yeah, so that's great. You could have your own personal recording studio for free. But say if you wanted to record in a band setting with multiple people playing at once, well, you would say we'd have a conductor to try and make sure everyone's got the same idea of what the tempo is, what the feeling is, and how fast we can go so we can all play together. Now unfortunately, because of the nature of this band, we don't have a maestro that can be there for all of us simultaneously. But what we do have is technology, which can help us a great deal with something called a click track. So go on to generate and hit click track. And I already have these set up with the values that you'll want to have. So 75 BPM, which is your tempo, is, I think, what was the recommendation. Beats, don't touch this one because this was already at 4 beats, so 4/4 time signature, 4 beats per measure. And number of measures, which basically dictates how long the click track is going to go on for. So 70 gives you about 3 minutes and 45 seconds. It doesn't have to be exact. Just make sure it doesn't end before you're finished recording. So hit OK, and here you go. Looks kind of strange, but if you give it a listen, tick, tock, tock, tock. So there you go. There is your metronome for an entire 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So this is great and all, but how does this help us when we're recording? So if you've ever played along with a metronome, you know that it helps you keep time. Well, this is exactly this. You've created your own virtual metronome. So if you hit record, now this is also the basics of multi-track recording right now. I'm going to rename this just for clarity. So this is my metronome audio track. Now when I hit record, Audacity is smart, and what it will do is it'll also play back the metronome audio track while recording in a different audio track. That's how the record button works. If you didn't want it to play back the metronome, you'd hit mute, and then obviously that track is muted, so it won't play back. But because we're recording and we want to have a stable sense of time, we want to have this playing through our headphones. So what this is going to create is this is going to let you listen through headphones to the metronome and play, because you can also hear your guitar through your headphones, but your microphone is only going to pick up the guitar. So I'll demonstrate here. So there you have it. If you go back and listen to this, it'll be perfectly in sync with your metronome, or it should be, if I've done my job correctly. Okay, so that's good enough. Now, there is such a thing as editing in Audacity, where if you use this little select tool, you can highlight parts of things and hit backspace or delete to get rid of them. But if you'll notice, this kind of messes up with the whole timing, because if I play this back, it's kind of not lining up with the metronome anymore. So Control-Z that, and there you go. You have perfectly back in sync. So just be careful. That's a little thing. Be careful that when you're cutting, say you have, like, you were talking or something, or somebody made a noise before you were recording, I would just leave that in, and because that would make it easier for you and you wouldn't have to worry about editing. I'll take care of that later. But yeah, just leave it in, and but if you are feeling ambitious, you can try to slice it directly on the beat, which basically you have to go and kind of line it up, and it's all fun and joy. But yeah, so what you're gonna do is, say this was my whole piece, this is everything I was gonna submit. I would now get rid of the metronome, and if you go back and listen to it, it's just guitar playing, and it's still in time. So pretty neat, huh? Yeah. And yeah, if you notice, you can actually hear the metronome here. Yeah, that's just because I had my volume too loud, my computer volume. So yeah, that was a little mistake I made. Hopefully your headphones will be better and they won't bleed as much. And bleeding is just when sound comes out through the headphones and people around you can hear it, or in this case, microphones can hear it. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. But if it does, as you probably heard, it didn't make too much of a deal once I actually started playing, and that covered up the sound. But yeah, that's just a little trick. So now we're on the last point, how to save and export your stuff, and the difference between the two. So you're going to go to File and Project Save, or Save As, whatever you want. I call this Metronome Test. And hit Save. Now, if you notice, this created a something called a .aup, which is an Audacity project file. But what it doesn't show you is it also creates a thing called data. And if you look here, there's a whole bunch of things folders I have from data, drum loop data, other stuff. Yeah, so save. I'm going to go over to that folder, music stuff, and I should see a thing called metronome data. Yeah, metronome.test.data. So my Audacity project is also in here, but this is the data, and Audacity also needs this. So if you went into it, it's all kind of like weird stuff that you're not really gonna use, but Audacity needs it all the same. And the most important thing about Audacity is that you keep this data folder and the .aup wherever it is. Metronome test. Yeah, you keep this .aup with the folder, because it'll look for the folder in the same Audacity. If you're going to open this up, so I say double click to open it up. If you're going to open it up, Audacity will look to the data folder in order to open up the whole thing. If I move this elsewhere, like say I move this to my desktop or something, it wouldn't work, and it would be like cannot find files, will not compute, and then you'll just get into you'll have to go on a search for that folder or that .aup file, and that I've done that more than a few times. So yeah, that's basically it. The difference between exporting and saving is that when you export a song, it's gonna export as an MP3 or WAV. The difference between MP3 and WAV is that just WAV has a higher bit rate, so higher sound quality, but it also takes up more space in terms of like megabytes and everything. So you're probably gonna want to export it to MP3. Also, most media players play MP3, so if you're ever gonna use Audacity in the future for recording glorious songs about how great Earthbound is or whatever, I would use MP3 or WAV, because WAV is better sound quality, but MP3, most things play MP3. Not many things play OGG or FLAC, but yeah, that's that. So if I wanted to make this into a song, I would export it as metronome test, and then I would save it. Well, I would export it, but the option says save, so you can call it like, my artist name is Butzag, if you wanted to call yourself that, and then yes, there you go. It's all great, and you can't actually see it, but it should be wherever the heck I saved it. I think I saved it to my documents, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, there you go. There's the tutorial. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll get back to you then. Nice.